Glasgow, that's the Scotland, Glasgow. We moved out to the burbs to a small town called Coatbridge. And if you know anything about Scotland, you know that's like the buckfast capital. Off topic, but anyway. But that's when my personality changed. I felt awkward, found it hard to make friends, and as an only child, I played all the time on my own. Playing on my own became a safe place. And so I hid from people, I hid behind my art, I hid my emotions from myself and from my family. I had been hurt so many times in those formative years that hiding became second nature to me. I felt my self-worth go down, and the only place that didn't cause me pain was where I was hiding. But the trouble when you're constantly hiding is that you become invisible, and you can lose yourself. And when there's no one coming to find you, that can be a very lonely place. In my experience of hiding, I found it hard to make friends growing up. And so as the arty girl, I poured myself into my art and hid behind my talents. I found it hard to fit in socially, so I poured my, at the time, very thin body into the latest fashion and hid behind an external facade. When I think back now, I can see that there were so many different situations where I hid. And even though at the time I know I was protecting myself, really it held me back in so many areas of my life. From school to careers to love and relationships, I can see it had a knock-on effect to all of that. Coming up to my 20s, I stumbled around in school and then in jobs, in relationships, didn't have a vision or a purpose for my life. I was just sort of floating around and moving from one hiding place to the next. Then in my mid-20s, I met my now husband, and his name is David. And he was confident, sociable, steady, friendly, and had a huge group of friends. And although I didn't realise it consciously at the time, he was someone that I could hide behind. A few years later, we had two amazing children, Brooke and Oscar. And what do you think I did? I hid behind them. So after having children, I found it hard to get my pre-baby body back, so I hid from my own body. But the biggest period of hiding hit me so hard and fast that it changed the course of my life. This is the part that you know. In 2014, I was 40 and I was a personal trainer. There I was on display in the gym, prancing around in front of everybody. Felt like I couldn't hide. And I certainly couldn't hide any lumps or bumps. So I hid behind that facade of a personal trainer. And like you, I quite literally worked myself into the ground. And if anybody asked me how I was feeling, I'd say I was feeling great, because I did. I felt amazing. I was the fittest I'd ever been. Everything I wore looked really good. I felt good and I felt confident. And so that seemed like a great place to hide. But that was until my energy started to fail. Looking back, the whispers of my body told me to slow down. They tried to find me. But I was hiding so deeply, I tuned them out. I was busy, I had clients to look after, I had an image to uphold. And those whispers in my body began to shout. By January of 2015, those whispers were shouting so loudly that I ended up in the back of an ambulance being rushed to hospital. One day, although I was hiding, I was at my peak. The next day, there was no hiding from the fact that I didn't have the energy to hold a glass of water to my own mouth. My identity had been ripped from me, and there I was, feeling like I was lying limp, naked, and absolutely terrified. At first, I was unable to think properly. My mind was a sea of mist. My eyes couldn't focus, and I was in shock and disbelief. Who was this person? What had happened? And what was going to happen? The next 8 months were the hardest time of my life, and also the longest period where I hid myself away. I was confused, and I was embarrassed, and I was completely lost. Doing simple tasks like brushing my teeth, going for a shower, actually having a conversation with someone was really hard work. I described that time of being 10 stories under, and that was the level of my health. But when I look back, it's how deeply I hid. After 10 courses of antibiotics, visiting countless specialists, having countless tests performed, I realised that no one could find me. No one was coming to save me. I had infection hiding deep inside my body that they couldn't properly pinpoint or understand. After 8 months of despair, hiding in the dark, one day I just chose to step out. I was sitting outside in the garden, and I had been watching dragonflies dance in the grass. And they were so beautiful and playful and full of life, and the complete opposite to the way I was feeling. They were not hiding, they were playing, chasing each other and having fun. I was transfixed by them, and I felt like they beckoned me out. And you know what happened next? Something found me, and that something was the sun. I still remember the emotions of sitting outside on that summer's day with the sun shining on my face. Yeah, it's starting to go. I had felt that sun many times before. But in that moment, it was different. It wasn't like normal sun. It felt like a warm embrace that I had never experienced before. It was a feeling that said, I see you, I support you, and I'm here. But as I wipe my tears away, I stand here before you, now fully fit and healthy, and I'm quite proud to say 45-year-old woman. And I can look back and understand that I've been hiding for most of my life. Since that moment of being found, I've been reminded by the wind wrapping around me that I am seen. I've been reminded by butterflies flying around me that I'm on the right path. I've had amazing experiences of what it's like to be out of hiding, and it is beautiful. So here I am. Never again will I hide so deep that I cannot be found. And this is my year of no more hiding. So standing here today and sharing my story is part of my uncovering. And I hope speaking today helps you look back at your own patterns of behaviour to recognise the times that you have been hiding, to recognise where you're currently hiding, and to find your moment in the sun and choose to stand up tall and say, no more hiding.